Looking for quality lumber for your dream home or an upcoming project? Then make Builders Lumberyard your premier provider. We provide a full selection of rough and dress lumber, such as Green Heart, Purple Heart, Kabakali, all types of mixed hardwood, Silver Bali, Ditarma, and many other species. We also stock clean and knotted pine doors in various sizes, qualable posts, farm boards, plywood, and all types of molding. Orders can be cut to any specification and delivered to your worksite. With over 25 years of experience in the lumber industry, we are determined to provide a quality lumber that meets our home builders and contractors' every need. Builders Lumberyard and you will always be a winning combination. Visit our main office at 12 Lombard and Deroy Street or our branch office at 66 Ben Street, Georgetown, or telephone 225-9530 227-0904.
For more than 3 decades, Dave's West Indian Imports has been supplying the demands of Guyanese living in the USA with their favorite Guyanese products: Pomeroon coconut water, fresh fish, shrimp and crab, champion chow mein, icy sodas, golden cream, margarine, wiri wiri pepper, katahar, and calves rib, just to name a few. If you have family from Trinidad and Tobago and Jamaica, Dave's has them covered too. 9807 97th Avenue, Ozone Park, New York, only 5 minutes away from Liberty Avenue. 11808 Liberty Avenue, Richmond Hill, New York. 7505 New Hampshire Avenue, Tacoma Park, Maryland. The Caribbean market. Dave's West Indian Imports, supplying the best of the Caribbean to the USA.
Craving a meal that's big on flavor but doesn't break the bank? KFC has got you covered with the KFC 3-piece meal deal. Get 3 pieces of chicken, fries, mac and cheese, a biscuit, and a drink, all for just $2,200. It's the perfect deal, available every day. Enjoy your 3-piece meal deal at KFC today. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Now Milko has done it again. We've listened to you, and now available nationwide. Another convenient size packaging of Thunderbolt all-purpose flour. It's here. The 5 kg or 11 pounds new packaging of Thunderbolt all-purpose flour. Now available at your nearest supermarket.
Now Milko, National Milling Company of Guyana.
Welcome to another program of the Sean Devers Sports Watch. It's Tuesday, January 13th, 2026. We're in the second Tuesday of the new year. Time is flying by so fast. I want to say good night to everyone, everywhere, wherever you're watching at us and wherever you're listening at us. We're on the program tonight. We will talk about West Indies cricket with former Barbados and West Indies batter Philo Alfonso Wallace, fitness trainer Basil Butcher. He's now a Guyanese, but he's been always a Guyanese, but he's now living in the United States of America. And we've got expecting veteran broadcaster Reds Pereira, who's been broadcasting cricket forever. This program comes to you with the compliments of Dave's West Indian Imports, KFC, Namalco, Builders Lumberyard, and Survival Supermarket. Once again, good night, everybody. Good night to Mr. St. John. He's listening to the radio in the old-fashioned way. He's not looking at it on YouTube. Good evening to James Prosper in Antigua. He's looking at it on YouTube, and to all those who are looking and listening to the program, good night to you all. In the news tonight, in the women's T20 Blaze in the island of St. Vincent, Guyana defending champions, they beat the Windwards by 5 wickets, so they had an auspicious start to their 2006 campaign. Guyana 96 for 5, and the Windwards were bowled out for 85 for 5. A low-scoring match in relative senses. Gajnabi, the Guyanese top scored with 38. The other matches, Jamaica lost to the Leewards by 9 wickets. Leewards 105, with Hector making 56, and then Jamaica being restricted to 99 for 8, despite 48 from veteran Chidan Nation. And the Barbados and Trinidad match that's now being played, 3 matches being played at the Arnest Vale Ground And Trinidad, when I last checked, they had reached 50, but they lost 3 wickets. They're batting first. So the next round starts on Thursday in the ICC World Cup. That starts on Thursday also with West Indies playing Tanzania. But good news, well, reasonably good news in the first match. West Indies batting against Ireland, then rain came down with them on 246 for 246 in 42 overs. Joel Andrews stopped scoring with 81. Guyanese Van Lang getting 38. But today they played Japan and they beat Japan by 229 runs. Apple, the 16-year-old Shamar Apple, he scored his maiden World Cup century, 124. Francis got 122 and Andrews got 31. They made 346 for 6 for the West Indians. So West Indies winning their second warm-up match. The tournament starts in true form on the 19th. So West Indies begins the 3 T20 series against Afghanistan on January 19, and then they play 3 more T20s in South Africa before going to the ICC World Cup, which starts on February 7. So good night to you. Well, I've now seen you all for the first time for the year. Happy New Year to you, Reds Pereira. Happy New Year to you, Philo Wallace. And I think that Basil was on the program last week, but still Happy New Year to you. Good evening to everyone. Reds, how do you following the under 19 cricket with Guyana and Windward Islands in St. Vincent? Reds? Okay, Reds.
No, I don't know if he's not hearing, but he's not muted.
Reds, you hearing me? All right, let's start with Philo. Philo, how is Barbados? And did you follow the Barbados Trinidad match in St. Vincent, the girls?
Hi, Sean. Good night. Happy New Year to you, to Basil, Rez, your guests, and all your listeners. Sean, unfortunately, I didn't follow the game. I'm not following the game in Barbados. Actually, it's St. Vincent.
Yeah.
Work has been very busy. The Supreme Court of Barbados. But I'll follow it. I'll have a look at it late in the night. Barbados obviously has gone back to Shakira Selman because there's a need for fast bowlers in the women's cricket in Barbados. Now, Shakira Selman works for the Barbados Cricket Association in that department. She's the one who's charged with streamlining and developing women's cricket. So I think that the selector as well, the lead selector is Miss Pat Greenwich. She's a former player, also West Indies team manager and Barbados team manager, former Whitefoot. Alvin Greenwich, a former Barbados West Indies opener. So she heads a selection panel. And I was very taken back to see Shakira Selman asking to come out of retirement to play, something similar to CWA asking Puran. But she's there. I'll be hoping that Barbados can put up a good showing in the regionals this year. We have minus Haley Matthews and DeAndre Dottin, those two powerhouses there away in India playing. So, and the retirement of the twin sisters and night girls. So it's left Barbados in a little hole, using a lot more junior cricketers than they would like. But you would expect that with the preparation of Roddy Essig, who's head coach, and Robin Parks, who's the assistant, that they can put in some good performances and look to do better. We wish them all the very best. But I think that a lot more needs to be done, Sean, for women's cricket. I think that the territorial boards should have a women's cricket development unit and have a director of women's cricket with a budget, and let that unit and that person controls the women's cricket, obviously reporting to the CEO of the various territorial boards and also the board, in order to structure a framework to take our women's cricket forward. I think that Shane Dietz, who is the West Indies women's head coach, he has a lot on his plate to get our cricketers up to standard. There's a test match this year, I think against England or Australia. And we don't even hear anything from CWA how the preparation is going to go for that and what plans they have. So there's a big ask to women's cricket. And I do hope that the authorities can get it right going forward, because I think women's cricket can help aid the development of total cricket in the region.
Well, I see Afi Fletcher is also back, the veteran. We had Chris Derring on our inaugural program for the year last Tuesday, and he was giving a rundown. West Indies playing later in the year 2 test matches, and that's the first time they'll be playing a test match since 2006, when they played Pakistan. And that's a long, long time. So they've got 2 test matches, one against Australia and then against South Africa. And he was saying there was a 20-member camp in Antigua and so on, focusing on that when this regional cricket finishes. That's going to finish the last day of the year, the last day of the month of January. So they've got some time, because that World Cup is test series is in March and April, yeah. So Reds Pereira, you hearing us now? Reds, you hearing us? Reds still not hearing us. Let me talk to Zandra when we go for our first commercial break and see what's the problem with Reds. Basil, how are you doing? You were on my program last Monday?
No. Okay. This is the first time. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to your listeners and your viewers, and to the panel, to Philo and to Reds.
You saw the program last week with Chris Derring?
No, I did not get a chance to look at it. No.
All right. So what's your thoughts on the women's cricket? And I was talking with Chris, the same thing, that they need a technical director for women. That happened in Guyana a few years back, when Emily Dotson, the former, I think she's still attorney at law, she was the president of that association. And we need to get back to that in all the regions. But then Chris was saying funding is a big problem, and nations like Guyana, Barbados, Trinidad, and Jamaica have no excuse with that. But that would be a big problem with countries like the Leeward Islands and the Windward Islands, when there are several sovereign islands included in that setup, and West Indies players a West Indies team, so that would be slightly difficult. So let's talk about the West Indies. They're starting their first T20 on the 15th in Afghanistan. They've already named their team. What do you think of that team?
Look, it's somewhat disappointing that we are going to play Afghanistan, and some of the senior guys that we would normally have are not going to be playing with series so close to the World Cup. These matches, in my view, are supposed to be the final fine-tuning of your team that is going to play in the upcoming World Cup. Those 3 matches against Afghanistan, and then the 3 matches against South Africa later on in the month. But it seems that those 3 games against South Africa may turn out to be the games in which the team that's going to the World Cup will be playing. So this is being used to bring certain players in to get a look at them, and so on and so forth, which to me it doesn't really square well in terms of your preparation for the World Cup.
Well, there are several players unavailable because of the T20 league's commitments. Rutherford, Shepherd, Holder. Well, Holder is being rested. Alzari is also being rested. It's good to see Shamar back. But as you said, it's going to be a tight situation where they're preparing on such a short time frame to go to the World Cup, which starts on the 15th. Yes, on the 19th.
Yeah, and what's interesting,
So it's actually on February 7th, so they've got a little time.
Yeah, but what's interesting, when we go to South Africa, the conditions in South Africa will be the completely diametrical to what they're going to see when they get to the subcontinent. Whereas when they play in
Afghanistan,
in
Abu Dhabi,
yes,
yeah,
those conditions will be more resembling what they're going to see. So to me, their schedule should have been flipped.
Yeah, because they're going to India and Sri Lanka.
Yes. So I mean, the preparation of West Indies teams for tournaments, for series, is something that has to be a little bit more. They have to be a little bit more focused, laser, and so on, because I think our players are not getting what they should get in preparation-wise for the conditions that they're going to face going in.
But Basil, you can only get what you negotiated, you know.
Huh?
You only get what you negotiated.
Yeah, well, I agree.
And if you have no bargaining power at the table, you're going to take what you get.
Yeah. I mean, and these are the things why it is so important to have people who have played and understand these things acutely, that their input they could bring that input to the table, you know. So those are some of the things I query. You know, why we did so and so. Like, I mean, just most recently too, Sean, we had a camp in Antigua for the test players before we went off to New Zealand. But maybe instead of having those 2 weeks in the Caribbean, those guys could have been in New Zealand, because they would have been getting more acclimated to the conditions in New Zealand, where they were training and doing all the stuff in the Caribbean, which the conditions resembled nothing of what they would have seen in New Zealand.
All right, Reds, good night to you. Your mic was muted or something. We're now hearing you. You're hearing us?
I've been hearing you loud and clear for the last 15 minutes, Sean.
But we were not hearing you. That's why I said maybe your mic was muted. Good night to you. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. I mean, I agree with most of what's being said. You know, so many questions to be asked. We really do not know what's going on. It's fairly disappointing, or very disappointing, that all the other countries don't seem to be in the position that we have found ourselves in. And, you know, as Basil just said, the South African matches will be the finishing touches. Whether we can be happy that at this stage our players are not all available, it's very disappointing. But we don't know all the facts. We just do not know all the facts. I don't know if this was planned, that we will use a different squad for the upcoming games, and then the final 15 will go to South Africa. But as Basil said...
Yeah, well, I understand that the Afghanistan series in the UEA would be the tournament to pick the West Indies team after the Afghanistan series and pick the West Indies team for the World Cup, which starts on the February 7th. So that team would most likely be the World Cup team that goes to South Africa.
Yes, that's what the president said last week on Mason's show.
Yeah, and that's what Chris Daring also said on my show.
Well, Chris Derrick said a number of things that Azari was fit and playing again.
Yes.
Suddenly there's a question mark to where is Azari? And we still have not heard after Joseph arrived in India, Sharma, and was sent back because he was deemed fit and then deemed unfit. What was in fact the plans by the West Indies board? Did he see a specialist in England? Did Azari see a specialist in England? We have had very little communication, and this is a board that promised transparency, promised us to be open, and the information comes out like ketchup out of a bottle.
Well, Joseph is fit, almost fully fit back. That Shamar, he was bowling in the nets a few weeks ago or last week, and he looked quite fast. But he's been picked for this series. In the case of Alzari, he's continuing to be rested. Hopefully, he plays in the World Cup. Let's go for a short commercial break, and then when we come back, we continue the discussions.
Surprise your family today with a nice vanilla-flavored cake made with Maid Marian cake flour. It's perfect for the birthday, anniversary, special occasion, or just celebrating the joy of having your family together. So get a pack or two of Maid Marian cake flour to make that moist, fluffy, vanilla-flavored sponge cake, donut-shaped cakes, Swiss rolls, and other delicious baked goods. Bring on the smiles with Maid Marian cake flour. Made and packaged not by hand by Nomilco, the National Milling Company of Guyana.
National Milling Company of Guyana.
Dave's West Indian Imports is a wholesaler of all types of seafood with their own processing plant. Dave supplies supermarkets, restaurants, hotels, and bars. Place your orders now on telephone 501-4087 or 644-8999. With fresh seafood daily, Dave's offers custom cuts of your choice: snapper, trout, banger, gillback, shrimp, crab, and more. Order today. Dave's, Guyana's largest exporter to the USA.
Sundays are for KFC Sunday Special Bucket Deal. Buy a 6 or 9 piece bucket meal and get an extra piece of crispy, juicy chicken. Or go big with a 15 or 20 piece bucket meal and get 2 extra pieces. That's even more of your KFC favorites to share. So gather the family, call your friends, and make it a Sunday feast like no other. Only at KFC, where Sundays are made tastier. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Looking for quality lumber for your dream home or an upcoming project? Then make Builders Lumberyard your premier provider. We provide a full selection of rough and dress lumber, such as Green Heart, Purple Heart, Kabakali, all types of mixed hardwood, Silver Bali, Ditarma, and many other species. We also stock clean and knotted pine doors in various sizes, Qualable posts, farm boards, plywood, and all types of molding. Orders can be cut to any specification and delivered to your worksite. With over 25 years of experience in the lumber industry, we are determined to provide a quality lumber that meets our home builders and contractors' every need. Builders Lumberyard and you will always be a winning combination. Visit our main office at 12 Lombard and Deroy Street or our branch office at 66 Ben Street, Georgetown, or telephone 225-9530 227-0904.
Yeah, well, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Sean Devers Sports Watch. 22 minutes on the right side of 8 o'clock. We continue with our discussion with Basil Butcher, Philo Wallace, and Red Spurrier. Red, starting with you. How do you see the importance of the fringe players on the tour against Afghanistan? I see Quinton Sampson is in the team. Of course, Hetty Meyer is also in the team. How do you see the importance of these fringe players getting into the World Cup team on the back of 3 good performances?
Well, all of a sudden, Sampson will go up against opposition of a higher level. I think Samson is the surprise pick.
Yeah, very surprised to me.
He had a couple of matches which he did well. See ball, hit ball very well, all out attack. But it's going to be a much higher level. The standard of bowling will be a lot more disciplined. It's really difficult to know what's going on because we saw a statement from Miles Bascom where he said that he asked Pooran to make himself available. So we don't know what is the plan. What is the plan? We can only wait to see how this team will perform. By the way, I'm reading a headline here which says Bangladesh will not be traveling to India. That's firm.
And they play West Indies in the first match.
Exactly.
Yeah. Reds, we're not hearing you again.
Well, I don't know why. I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Yeah, I'm hearing you now.
Well, I know I'm finished my statement. Let me hear what Philo's got to say.
Philo, your thoughts on Samson, who has a big problem with the short ball?
I have a problem with team selection for West Indies squad selections. West Indies squad selections, Sean. I'm not a big fan of the head coach having ultimate responsibility with the talent scope, sending for him names and the ID manager Jamal Smith and the OC Miles Bascom having the same selecting West Indies squads. I think it's a laughing stock of international cricket. I've listened to an interview by Darren Lehman the other day. He said, look, it is decent to have 3 selectors and a captain. Discuss the team. You can even put in the coach. So when I see squads selected for West Indies cricket team, I just ask the question on what merit. We talk about stats, but on what merit do some of these players really are selected on? And when you look at Hetmar, what has Hetmar done to deserve a West Indies pick in a squad going to a UAE?
Maybe because Shea Hope is not there and all these players are being rested and unavailable. That's maybe how he got into the side. Because you still got to pick a side.
For selection? It's not criteria for selection because a fella ain't going, another fella just slip in. Then you go on with Johnson Charles. The selections of the squads are just farce, and there's no explanation why. No press conferences to discuss or question or quiz the people who pick the squads. So I just look at the squads and say, I wish them all the very best. Afghanistan is not going to be an easy walkover, particularly in the UAE, and they'll be very familiar with those conditions. And I hope that we don't go there and embarrass ourselves. Again, we have one coach. What his preparation is going to be like for these guys to going into that T20 series, and then from there we go to South Africa. We may really get the full crux of the T20 World Cup squad, because they did not name a provisional squad. I read in the media that someone at CWI said that there's no need for a provisional squad because they don't like to change squads. Mm-hmm. So they'll send the main squad, the World Cup squad, before the deadline, that is January 31st, to ICC. So you have to wait and see how that goes. But Sean, I just think that whoever is selected for West Indies on this trip, I would hope that they could go to UAE and hit the ground running. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be difficult, and try to win these 3 T20 games. Because if they don't win this T20 series against Afghanistan, we're going to South Africa, and we're seeing how South Africa has just made an upward spiral. We were supposed to play 5 T20s, but we only played 3. But South Africa's cricket is on an upward spiral. So you don't want to leave the UAE on the low, trying to climb a mountain. You want to leave UAE at the peak. So when you get to South Africa, it's just a short climb to the top. So this to me, this UAE trip is going to be very important for the trip to South Africa, and then we are in the World Cup. But as Red said, and what is happening now in the media, Bangladesh and India, it seems that West Indies might not have a first game, because West Indies are due to play at Bangladesh on February 7th in Kolkata, in India, and Bangladesh has clearly said they're not going to India. So that is that's another story as well.
Well, I heard the ICC had threatened that if they don't go, they'll forfeit the match, and West Indies will get the points. That's what initially I heard.
Well, if they forfeit the game and if they don't play and they forfeit the game, and West Indies get points, it is points, but you still want to play.
Yeah.
West Indies would prefer to play a cricket match, but how ICC runs their business is how they run their business. But I just hope that the UAE, the guys who go to UAE, can really put in some good, creditable performances against the Afghanistan side. I don't know if it's going to be a full strength Afghanistan side, but to try to give us something to go forward to for South Africa and the World Cup in February.
Basil, what are your thoughts on what Reds and Philos said?
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing with the Bangladesh, that's an ICC thing, and West Indies will have to go to Sri Lanka. All right, they're gonna have to play that game in Sri Lanka and then go over to India for their other two India for the rest of their group games, right? I mean, the situation is untenable for the Bangladeshi team to travel to India with the political strife that is going on. Look, the West Indies selection process, the president was quizzed about that, and he gave a rationale as to, well, when we had 3 selectors, it would be pretty much the same team being picked. But I think that is more a cop-out of the system, because the system as it is, you have the 6 chairmen of selectors as the talent ID people in each of the territories. Then they filter information as well, and then you have these scouts who would also be watching at regional matches and so on, and all those people will filter information to a talent ID manager. The talent ID manager will then put that information to the head coach as to the players, and the head coach makes a decision. So when we're talking about critiquing that system, is looking at all the parts, and are all the parts working as proposed to get the result? Because we have seen some very dubious selections since the system has been put in place, right? That I feel, had there been other serious voices in the process, some of those dubious selections would not have happened. Look, for example, in New Zealand most recently, the last test, that pitch was helping spinners. When you looked at the last first class match played there, a left arm spinner took 10 wickets, getting Williamson out in both innings, and New Zealand picked a left arm spinner who never really gets selected to play in New Zealand generally. So obviously they knew something, but we thought differently, and we didn't pick a frontline spinner in our team. I mean, those kinds of things that make you scratch your head as to, is this system really working?
All right, Reds. Yeah, Reds.
Well, I totally agree with what Philo said earlier. This system we have is nothing but a joke. It's a experiment which has not worked. I see that the president did talk about some paper from the cricket committee that they may discuss and consider going back to what has worked for us since 1928, which is pre-selected. And I hope that Lois as chairman is very serious about that, because it's a total joke. I mean, to hear Basil explain that whole scenario about this reporting to this and this, there's so many layers. I mean, the world must be laughing at us, as Philo said. We got to go back to selectors. We got to go back to our red ball coach. We got to go back to a white ball coach. The coaching staff for the red ball must be different from the white ball. And, we have to have independent selectors.
Reds, I want to know if our backroom staff don't get tired.
Yes, I mean, Philo, you raise a good point, because that was one of the reasons why they split up the thing between white and red ball, because you would hear the talk when Phil Simmons was a coach about the guys not getting a chance to recharge and those kinds of things. And just like players need to recharge, coaches need to get that time off too, because people don't realize when you as a coach and you there watching the game and you into the game, you get as mentally tired, although you're not running around the field like the players. So you have to be recharged. And to Red's point, look, I in theory, a system like what they put in place could work, but not in the current structure of West Indies cricket. We don't have that kind of high performance professional structure that such a thing could work. And that was my apprehension from the get-go of trying to put this high performance thing in a substandard system and hoping for the best, to me.
There
Right?
were high performance and low performance. It doesn't work. Brazil or cricket has to have the right structures in place.
Yes.
Right now we're crying out at the franchise level for structure. Our franchise coaches, nobody knows who they report to. Nobody's aware of how much work they're doing and what they're doing.
Correct.
All we hear people doing is beat tests and fitness tests.
Yes.
And teams still scoring 110, 115. So it's not about being beat tests and fitness tests. I think that the fundamental principles of our cricket has to be bat and ball, where batters bat and bowlers bowl, and get the principles going forward. I think we're overcoaching fitness, and we're not looking at the whole dynamics of a batter and the whole dynamics of a bowler. My issue with our bowlers is that a lot of our bowlers are breaking down midway in series.
And Philo, I wouldn't even say we're emphasizing on fitness because our guys are not conditioned enough.
That's another thing too, because they stopped the fitness test.
Yeah, because look, Mitchell Stark is 35 years old.
I'm bowling faster than
He's going to be 36 years old this year. Played 5 high-intensive test matches. And you know this Australian summer has been very hot in some of the areas. And every time Mitchell Stark bowled, he was bowling in the 140s, right?
Yeah.
And I said that to some people. That is where you talk about conditioning. Look, we had Roach come out of the mud balls and in the third test match pulled up, right? And you juxtapose that to Mitchell Stark. And that's what we're talking about.
But we had Johan Hanley and bowling slower than Kemar Roach.
Yes.
And he's 22 years old.
Exactly.
Jaden Seal done on pace and accuracy.
Exactly.
But yet there's no report from Ravi Rampal to the public as to what went wrong. And Florida Reefer is our batting coach. They're going to UAE again. They're leaving the Caribbean to go to UAE to be batting and bowling coach respectively. And our struggles continued in India, Bangladesh, a bit in Bangladesh, and in Pakistan, and in New Zealand. And we're taking those same people to UAE. Are they under contract? Or the head coach has the final say as well who he wants to travel with?
Yes, I mean the head coach defended gave Reefer a vote of confidence, saying that Reefer is working hard and in the details and so on and so forth. We have heard that song before, but we don't see the results on the field.
But the analysts giving the wrong information then. If Reefer doing all this work and we still seeing these results, you're gonna blame the analysts now.
Yeah.
John?
And Philo, the other part of this is coaches throughout the region who assesses their abilities or assesses their performances as coaches, and how do you appoint somebody to be a coach? What are the criteria do you look for to appoint somebody to be the coach? It can't be just certification. You gotta show some other things. And our players are coming out with lacking fundamentals and so on and so forth. Philo, I watching the game as we're talking here, the Barbados women. I saw probably about 5 or 6 catches got dropped. I thought about simple catches.
But in women's cricket, the women have no ball sense. David Murray, the late David Murray, used to speak about it a lot when he came into the Nets at Spartan in Queen's Park in Barbados. He said a cricketer must have ball sense. And our cricketers, both male and female, don't have ball sense, and particularly the females. This is my belief in women's cricket. My belief is that there's a guy in England called Gareth Breeze.
Yes.
Who worked with the ECB and England women for a long time. I am surprised. Chris, they're the CEO of Cricket West Indies at Jamaican. I am surprised that we have not called Gareth Breeze to help us structure a program for our coaches and our women's cricket. And I believe that he will help us because we need help. And we cannot have two good women cricketers. Because there's another girl in England who played in Big Bash from Jamaica. I haven't even heard anything about her. She's doing anything special. She's playing Henry. She's also in India, I think, in the IPL. I haven't heard anything about her. The only Henry I heard about is Or Henry, which is a chocolate. So all women's cricket is in limbo, and we need structure in our women's game to lift the profile of our cricket.
We have a woman in England. Her last name is Griffith. Tells me she's a Barbadian background, right? I'm not so sure, because you have another black woman playing in England, Perrette. But I don't think she would want to come and play for West Indies because she can see herself getting into the England
of Jamaican background.
Yes, Jamaican background. But Griffith is older. Griffith has no chance of playing for England. But Griffith could walk into a West Indies team. I would hope we could approach Griffith and see if that.
I see. We need structure in our women's game, Sean and Reds. We need structure in our women's cricket programs, and I mean across the territories.
Yes.
It cannot be haphazard. It has to be structured across the territory. I don't know if the mandate must come from CWI or the territorial boards themselves could sit as a collective and say, look, this is what we're going to do to help improve West Indies cricket so we can put out a better women's product for West Indies.
I agree.
Reds.
Sean, let me ask you a quick question. You can talk on this. I watched all 3 of the games today. Well, right now, rain stopped the game with Barbados at the halftime. Yeah. I watched the 2 games earlier today. And Guyana, we're on a Guyana radio program here. I saw the Guyana team, several women in the team who got picked as batters, batting at 10 and 11, or 9 and 10. They're just filling up a space. I mean, this is what we have come. How do they come up with selecting a team? How do they put together a team like that? You got these 2 sisters, the Williams sisters, youngsters from Essequibo. Both of them are batters, and they all the other people who playing as bowlers batted before them. The only bowler that didn't bat before them, that was slotted to bat before them, is Millington. I mean, what? That is just a microcosm of where we are.
And the Guyana team has 5 present players in the West Indies team and 7 who's played for the West Indies in the past. And that's experience, but they say experience, they only have the experience one time of doing it over and over again, the same thing. That's the experience they have. Doing the same thing over and over again for 10 matches.
Yes.
Well, how good is Tremaine Smart as a coach?
She's very good. She's very good. The Guyana won the 2020 last year, and she's very good. But this is the first game, and the problem with Tremaine also, they didn't have enough time with the girls. The rain was a big factor, and then the unavailability of the grounds because of the rain. So that's always the case. But now I see the Guyana Harpy Eagles team, they already start training for that regional tournament in April, which is incidentally going to be for the first time played in one single country.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Reds?
Hold on. Let's go for another commercial break, and then Reds will come in.
Family today with a nice vanilla flavored cake made with Maid Marian cake flour. It's perfect for the birthday, anniversary, special occasion, or just celebrating the joy of having your family together. So get a pack or two of Maid Marian cake flour to make that moist, fluffy, vanilla flavored sponge cake, donut shaped cakes, Swiss rolls, and other delicious baked goods. Bring on the smiles with Maid Marian cake flour. Made and packaged not by hand by Nomilco, the National Milling Company of Guyana.
National Milling Company of Guyana.
Attention seafood suppliers, Dave's, the largest purchaser of fresh fish from Guyana, is interested in buying from you. Dave's deeply cares about bolstering the local economy and is looking to begin business with an eager seller of fresh fish and agro products. Dave's needs a constant supply of snapper, butterfish, bangameri, bundari crab, sheriga crab, white belly shrimp, bon carilo, edo, saijambaji, and more. Contact Dave's West Indian Imports at 21 Middle Street, Viceless, East Coast, Demerara. Telephone 501-4087 or 644-8999. Dave's will purchase.
Craving a meal that's big on flavor but doesn't break the bank? KFC has got you covered with the KFC 3-piece meal deal. Get 3 pieces of chicken, fries, mac and cheese, a biscuit, and a drink. All for just $2,200. It's the perfect deal, available every day. Enjoy your 3-piece meal deal at KFC today. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Looking for quality lumber for your dream home or an upcoming project? Then make Builders Lumberyard your premier provider. We provide a full selection of rough and dress lumber, such as Green Heart, Purple Heart, Kabakali, all types of mixed hardwood, Silver Bali, Ditarma, and many other species. We also stock clean and knotted pine doors in various sizes, Qualable posts, farm boards, plywood, and all types of molding. Orders can be cut to any specification and delivered to your worksite. With over 25 years of experience in the lumber industry, we are determined to provide a quality lumber that meets our home builders and contractors' every need. Builders Lumberyard and you will always be a winning combination. Visit our main office at 12 Lombard and Deroy Street or our branch office at 66 Ben Street, Georgetown, or telephone 225-9530 227-0904.
Yeah, well, welcome back to the Sean Dever Sports Watch. Just about 15 minutes left on the program, and we've got Red Spurrier, Basil Butcher Jr., and Philo Wallace. Reds, Philo was asking you, what are your thoughts about the regional first-class tournament? It's scaled down, no CCC, no West Indies Academy, so just the 5 conventional teams. They're playing in one island, the 108 square mile island of Antigua. I had Vernon Springer. Yes, good night to you, Vernon. You reminded me that he was on with Chris Daring on our first program. So what do you think of that tournament, playing in one country? Same facilities, same conditions, everything. How is that good for West Indies cricket?
Because of no paisa, no dinero. Money is the problem. The board is stretched financially. So by cutting out the CCC, by cutting out the academy, they have just cut the cloth to suit. By playing all in Antigua, is a simply straightforward case of a reflection of the financial situation. They don't have to have a lot of planes flying up and down, no home and away matches. This, I suppose, is a sensible thing to do because of the financial situation that we have found ourselves in. You know, somebody is like, where the money gone? Well, I do not know. But the former Jamaican president seemed to have a fair amount of ideas. A couple of things I would like to raise. We've been hearing about a batting coach from Miles Bascom. About 4 months ago, when that appointment will happen, we are not happy with Reefer. We hear about this man who is going to come, this technician. When are they going to appoint that?
Ray, we have no money for cricket. We have no money to run decent cricket because we cut out 3 developmental squads or 2 developmental squads, and then you're telling me you're looking at her batting coach. Well, he's not going to come for cashew nuts. what I think Cricket West Indies should be doing, Rez, because all the presidents sit at CW as directors. Cricket West Indies should be looking at the directors who are the presidents of the territorial boards and telling them they need to implement in their cricket structure and program a batting consultant, a fast bowling consultant, a wicket-keeping consultant from all the former cricketers of those individual territories. We don't need to hire no batting coach. Because you can hire a batting coach and you can still get a fellow from Barbados or Trinidad or Guyana with the same batting problem. So fix the problem at the root. The root is at the territorial level.
Correct.
I had this discussion last Friday, and I said on this program, I had it with the Chief Justice of Barbados. We in the Caribbean can produce cricketers, and we use Jacob Bethel and Jaffa Archer.
Yeah.
Jacob left these shores at 12 or 13 years old, but we produced him in Barbados. The gray area is between, it took Jacob 10 years to become an international cricketer. So he's an international cricketer at 22, which is a good age. Where we are falling on the Caribbean is that we cannot take them, let me say for under 19s then, from under 19s to 23s, which is another 3 years. So between 15 and 23, we cannot get them to international standards. Why? That is the gray area of West Indies cricket. It has nothing to do with batting or bowling coach. It has to do with the structures of development. And that is where Miles Bascom and those guys are failing. And that very important committee headed by Enoch Lewis, condolences to him because he lost his father. By the end of the day, it's business. And that committee that he chairs should be picked to pieces because it's not functioning and not making any real solid and structured decisions on cricket development.
But
so our problem in the... Yes, please.
Don't you think the cricket committee should be made up of, half of that committee should be made up of former West Indies players?
Well, a football committee can only be made up of footballers. So cricket committee should have cricketers. But why me cricketers that can make significant contributions?
Yeah.
You don't want cricketers who are sitting there just for sitting their sake. Because you don't hear of any contributions that are being made, constructive contributions. So we have to fill the gray areas within our cricket structures in order for us to have the product at 22, 23 years old. This under-19 Youth World Cup is going to be a good testament to where we are at. Beating Japan and them kind of teams is fine. But when you get down to Pakistan and India and Australia...
And we were in the zone, the only good team, well, all the teams are relatively fairly capable of beating each other at youth level, but the only team that plays international cricket well is England. We're with Nepal and those teams.
So we're supposed to beat those teams badly.
Yeah.
But that doesn't give us a good gauge because then we move to the next level and we're Trump, and I'm not speaking with Donald Trump, and we get beat badly, then we're in trouble. So we have to find out where we can fill in these gray areas in our development. And if we start doing that, we're going to get a better cricket product. But we're looking for this money to come in and next money to come in. But they're working with the same structures that were there from 1927. We have to try to change the structures first to see what we can do to better the player.
Do you guys think that the CARICOM governments should get more involved with funding cricket? They're building stadiums, especially Guyana. And I heard Antigua, the government is doing a lot of work for this same tournament, the regional first-class tournament. They've got the RJR, ARG, they've got the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium, they've got Coolidge, and they've got the Kenny Benjamin ground. They're working also on the police ground. So they've got 5 grounds according to Vernon Springer, and he's in Antigua, and they're doing a lot of work, the government, and also the West Indies, CWI, Cricket West Indies, owns one of the grounds there, Coolidge.
Yeah, Coolidge.
Yeah.
Coolidge.
So
but just to say something, Philo, this is for your ears, but everybody else. Selman is bowling, walking up 2 steps and throwing over the ball. That's what Selman is doing. I just want to do that.
Selman, okay.
Yes.
Shakira Selman works for the Barbados Cricket Association in the women's cricket department. She's supposed to be structuring women's cricket in Barbados. And I give the BCA not out of 10 for Lloyd Salmon to play for Barbados when there's work to be done on cricket or women's cricket development in Barbados. And I think that she should not be playing in no regionals. If you retire, you retire. Find a younger person, give them the experience to go there and represent Barbados, and let Salmon stay in the office and structure programs to help develop cricketers, women cricketers in Barbados. So what she's doing there is just a big embarrassment to Barbados cricket and the selection panel. And what has disappointed me is that we have a new president in the BCA and the selection panels have remained the same. Nothing has changed.
Back to the question of CARICOM's involvement in West Indies cricket.
But Sean, is going to be a big ask for CARICOM to get involved in cricket because ICC also has a rule, governmental
No, not running the cricket, providing funding.
But you want me to put my money there and they don't have a say? Derek Murray said it last week on Andrew's program that CWI should step down and set up a 7-member committee of CARICOM, Rich CARICOM, and structure the board. Okay? If you want the governments to put money in to cricket development, the governments clearly, Sean, will ask for a say. I cannot give you money to develop something and I don't have a say in it. So there have to be a representative from government in order to get things to work. But government has so much on their plates now, with everything that's happening. You know, Venezuela is under turmoil, oil prices are rising, not a lot of food supplies is diminishing. So there are a lot of things that governments are trying to grapple with. Then to bring this problem called Cricket West Indies, we can kill the governments then if you bring Cricket West Indies.
And what do you feel, Dr. Shallow? He is now a politician fully. He's a member of parliament, and he's still the
Minister of Tourism.
Yeah, and he's still the president of CWI. He says that he's looking at this as his last term.
But this is me, Sean. He said he got the blessings of the board.
Yeah.
If it is so, it is so. But to me, it is a conflict of interest. Because being the Minister of Tourism and Maritime Affairs, Ministry of Tourism is one of the biggest ministries in any Caribbean country. The Caribbean runs on tourism. And with the way in which the world is going, and St. Vincent de Grenadines being an emerging tourist market, you need a lot of energy and time spent in that ministry with someone of Dr. Shallow's caliber. But if you're going to do that, how then can you dedicate your time to a failing organization called Cricket West Indies? How you can get it balanced?
And Philo, the atmosphere when Dr. Shallow was appointed senior minister of tourism, the atmosphere for tourism was much more encouraging.
Yes.
Now, because of what has taken place, Venezuela, etc.
Yes.
The situation is very, very worrying from the tourism point of view.
Yes, it is.
So I think that Dr. Shallow should do the honorable thing and step down.
Well, he's already the honorable Dr. Shallow, so he just got to make sure he's going to step down now because the honor is already there.
He's got a responsibility to the people of St. Vincent, and
yes.
You can't have cake and bake.
That's right.
I do not understand how you can be the president of the West Indies board, which is a very tough assignment,
but has no money. Just perks.
Well, I want us to go back to the women's cricket, Philo. Only Trinidad has got 6 clubs. How many clubs in Barbados, Philo? Quick answer.
None. You have Roland Butcher, who runs a junior program for women.
Yeah.
You have Franklin Stevenson, who runs an academy that incorporates young girls. Richard Clark does the same thing. Maybe Wanderers and a few. But there's no real women's cricket club in Barbados.
Exactly.
In Guyana, they've got about 2 in Berbice and about 2 in Georgetown. The Georgetown chairman of the competition committee, Sean Masai, was saying that when cricket restarts, there's lots of rain falling in Guyana. When cricket restarts, they're going to have the under-15 tournament incorporated with about 3 women's teams playing in that tournament. And the under-17. But the regional, no, there's no under-15 or under-17.
Gentlemen, our women play every sport in the Caribbean. They run track, they swim, They play netball, they play basketball, they play volleyball, they play hockey. They do not play cricket.
That's right.
I mean, why can't we have a meeting with the Minister of Education and have a secondary school tournament in every country? We need to have the basis of a feeder. Until we have the girls playing at the secondary school with the relevant, of course, coaching, the relevant equipment and things like that, but the start has got to be made. Every other country in the ICC have got a schools program. We do not have a schools program. I just want to come back to the selection of the number 3 batsman from the Leeward Islands, Hattie. Do you think that he is a 2020 player, or he's more suited to the longer format gentleman? I was surprised that he was picked.
No, he's not a 2020 player. He hasn't shown a penchant for that.
Exactly.
So you know, now what's interesting, this team with all of these guys not available, and we have to select a Carty, we have to select a Sampson, we have to select a Johnson Charles. It again illustrates how the cupboard is bare.
And we still leaving out somebody like Kevin Sinclair.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what happened to Shamar Springer? Is he hurt?
No, he's in the team.
Yeah, he's in the team.
He's in the team.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, when we have to go to such people to get into the West Indies team, it is a very it's a microcosm of where we are as a cricket structure. That those are the guys that we got to reach for to come and play in T20. And this is not the CPL. Playing T20 at that level is the highest level in the world. And I am sure Afghanistan will have their full team playing because that's part of their World Cup preparation.
And we still not gotten a leg spinner.
Yeah, because we carried Motara the other day to the same UAE to play against Nepal. Mm-hmm. And now Motara seems to have dropped off the radar because we've gone for Kaieteur.
Isn't this guy in the team, Mika McKenzie, the leg spinner?
Yeah.
No, he's in the World Cup. Sorry, my bad. He's at the World Cup.
Yeah, he's at the Under 19 World Cup.
Under 19 World Cup, yes.
But Philo, I'm very impressed by our recent match against the England on the 19 or whatever was the age limit.
Yeah, on the 19.
I think that was a little green shoot. I mean, when we can do that, and to go back to the same point that you made, what's going to happen with that talent who beat England? Most of them are attached to English counties. So full marks to the West Indies players who beat England in Grenada. But where do we go from here?
I was good to see Apple and Mackenzie playing in the Super 50 and then being put into the last 2 matches of that series. And it bore fruit today. Apple made 100. That was only a warm-up match, though.
Yes.
Yeah, that is the gray area that I spoke about. What is going to happen when these under 19 cricketers finish this World Cup? Because with the structure that they have in West Indies cricket, with the talent scouts and stuff like that, and the franchises, how are these young men going to get into that franchise system in order to start to make their mark? And that is why I said Jacob Bethel left Barbados at 12, 13 years old, and at 22 he scored a Test 100 with no first class 100 behind his belt. Mm-hmm. What did they do, and what can we do to do the same thing? Now these guys are 19 years old. How many Youth World Cups has Jacob Bethel played at on the 1911?
He played one.
But he scored 100 at Sydney Cricket Ground with the Ashes at 22 years old. We have young cricketers playing. These cricketers are 19. These cricketers are 3 years behind Jacob Bethel, 4 years behind Jacob Bethel. In 4 years' time, will any of this present on the 19 squad that are playing in the Youth World Cup play for West Indies in Test match cricket?
I'm very impressed with Joel Andrews, Van Lang.
Let's give you an example.
We quickly running out of time. Yeah.
Athens was the top scorer at the same World Cup, where Ravindra, Gill, Preeti Shaw, and others were at the same World Cup. Look where Athens is in relationship to some of those guys, right? So that is a reflection of our system.
That's the gray area I'm speaking about.
Exactly, and we have not addressed that.
No.
That's been a lot of talks.
All right, we're quickly running out of time. We actually run out of time on behalf of Basil Butcher, Philo Wallace, and Red Pereira. I'm Sean Dever saying if you can be good, then be careful.
All right. Good night, fellas.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Looking for quality lumber for your dream home or an upcoming project? Then make Builders Lumberyard your premier provider. We provide a full selection of rough and dress lumber, such as Green Heart, Purple Heart, Kabakali, all types of mixed hardwood, Silver Bali, Ditarma, and many other species. We also stock clean and knotted pine doors in various sizes, Qualable posts, farm boards, plywood, and all types of molding. Orders can be cut to any specification and delivered to your worksite. With over 25 years of experience in the lumber industry, we are determined to provide a quality lumber that meets our home builders and contractors' every need. Builders Lumberyard and you will always be a winning combination. Visit our main office at 12 Lombard and Deroy Street or our branch office at 66 Ben Street, Georgetown, or telephone 225-9530 227-0904.
Sundays are for KFC Sunday Special Bucket Deal. Buy a 6 or 9 piece bucket meal and get an extra piece of crispy, juicy chicken. Or go big with a 15 or 20 piece bucket meal and get 2 extra pieces. That's even more of your KFC favorites to share. So gather the family, call your friends, and make it a Sunday feast like no other. Only at KFC, where Sundays are made tastier. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
For more than 3 decades, Dave's West Indian Imports has been supplying the demands of Guyanese living in the USA with their favorite Guyanese products: Pomeroon coconut water, fresh fish, shrimp and crab, champion chow mein, icy sodas, golden cream margarine, wiri wiri pepper, katahar, and casrib, just to name a few. If you have family from Trinidad and Tobago and Jamaica, Dave's has them covered too. 9807 97th Avenue, Ozone Park, New York, only 5 minutes away from Liberty Avenue. 11808 Liberty Avenue, Richmond Hill, New York. 7505 New Hampshire Avenue, Tacoma Park, Maryland. The Caribbean market. Dave's West Indian Imports, supplying the best of the Caribbean to the USA.
Looking for quality lumber for your dream home or an upcoming project? Then make Builders Lumberyard your premier provider. We provide a full selection of rough and dress lumber, such as Green Heart, Purple Heart, Kabakali, all types of mixed hardwood, Silver Bali, Ditarma, and many other species. We also stock clean and knotted pine doors in various sizes, Qualable posts, farm boards, plywood, and all types of molding. Orders can be cut to any specification and delivered to your worksite. With over 25 years of experience in the lumber industry, we are determined to provide a quality lumber that meets our home builders and contractors' every need. Builders Lumberyard and you will always be a winning combination. Visit our main office at 12 Lombard and Deroy Street or our branch office at 66 Ben Street, Georgetown, or telephone 225-9530 227-0904.